Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we're going to be talking about QNT or Quant networks. Now, there is a lot of things to talk about, but first and foremost, I do want to quickly address, a lot of people think that when an asset has some sort of bullish announcement that it's going to extremely pump in price. But I just want to say right now, we are still very well in a Bitcoin market. Things are controlled by Bitcoin in terms of price as well as overall dominance factors over the market. So QNT is no different. QNT is just like every other asset right now until we do get into a utility-driven market. And when we do get into a utility-driven market, that is where you really want to watch out for. And that's where a lot of the Bitcoin maxis are going to be surprised when QNT is worth more than their, asset. And we will get there in time. Just be patient. Now, I do want to talk to you guys about QNT because we have been dropping in price. In fact, we are out of the top 50, I believe, or actually, we're at 59. Sorry. But we are sitting at about $232. We hit a low of about $220 exact today. We're going to be addressing that. We're going to be talking about that price, and we're going to be talking about, pretty much everything within that. Trading volume is up about 62.5%, which is totally fine. Most likely a lot of people do want to be buying right now. In terms of the 1 month span, we actually hit a pretty big high on November 14th in terms of the addresses holding, which was about 38.2K. This dropped significantly by 1,000, so I'm sure a lot of people were pretty much seeing what was about to happen in the market. The sentiment in the market for the past couple days has been fairly bearish, which is totally fine. This pump wasn't, or this drop in price wasn't totally expected, but you could pretty much expect a little bit of some price volatility. The wave 4 is pretty much finishing up on Bitcoin, which will lead us to the wave 5, which of course will lead to alts pretty much going absolutely parabolic. So we have to wait until that actually happens and wait until that scene happens. Now, before we fully jump into this video, I just want to ask, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely consider subscribing, turning notifications on. Also, definitely hit that like button, as it does help the channel grow, and I do greatly appreciate it. Also, if you guys do want to get it, I'm just letting you guys know the sale is ending this Saturday on the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack, which includes pretty much everything on my website, NCashOfficial.com. You guys are not obligated to purchase anything. I'm just letting you guys know. And for anybody who isn't, interested in the Ultimate Crusader Trading Bundle Pack, I do have my own QNT short and long-term plans in terms of my exit plan and all that kind of stuff on this website as well. Links are down in the description below as well as in the comments below. Now, let's jump into QNT. So obviously this is extremely oversold on the 4-hour base point as well as even on the 1-day base point. Now, at the current price that we did bottom out on, it's fairly significant because this is the point where we had some major strong support before we pretty much jumped out back in, that was September, right? So that was the September high. Now, this pretty much rode up, kind of consolidated before we did hit, about like $400 and almost $30. But we do see that major, it wasn't major support, but it was a support zone that we pretty much ranged on when we came back down and retested it. Which, if we do look over here, this is the actual support zone that we've hit on the 4-hour base point. Now, I know that it's not the exact bottom of these two candles, but there it is, $224 with, of course, our low being $220. Is there anything significant about the bottom of that candle? Not really, besides it being, resistance going back to September 4th. But besides that, I was waiting for this point up here being our bottom stage, which was around this point here, sorry. Pretty much that was the nice bottom stage back in September 21st, but it was also resistance going back to September 5th. So I thought maybe that could have been our bottom, but it actually wasn't. This was, of course, a Bitcoin drop leading us to this bottom stage, but it's totally fine because I think from here we pretty much go up on QNT if Bitcoin does sustain the price movement or the reversal on the chart now. But we have to watch for that to actually be validated or invalidated. I know that there's a lot of buyers for QNT at around this level, which is great to see because a lot of people obviously know what they are holding. We are seeing the nice support on the RSI. It's not so much support, but the bottom of the RSI back here in July pretty much being almost retested, but we actually broke below it, which is telling me that this is fairly oversold. I mean, we're almost down to, we're pretty much at the low 30s or the mid 30s in terms of the RSI, which is very low for QNT, because we're used to it being at least up here in almost the high 40s, almost 50s. So in terms of the RSI, I would say that we're pretty much oversold. Could it come down lower? Possibly, yes, if Bitcoin does. And, at that point, a lot of alts will probably be below about the 30 points, which is indicating that it's severely oversold. So we have to watch for this, but I expect a nice reversal on a lot of altcoins, probably on Bitcoin as well by the end of this week, to really kind of get that nice strong weekly close. Now, in terms of QNT, like I've said, there's a ton of things happening, and I don't think a lot of people are really kind of seeing what's happening right now. We do see here QNT plus IETF plus IBM plus Intel plus MIT building together for the win. And of course, I will never understand why there is so little hype around QNT. And of course, Anders coming in clutch because it takes time and thinking to understand the tech. Not only that, but we're not in a utility driven market. And a lot of people will look at something like QNT and say, well, it's $230, so, it's pretty expensive, so I'd rather invest $230 into, a coin that's 20 cents and get this many instead of just one. And that's the problem with a lot of people's thinking in this market. They don't want to buy a coin that is like over $1 because they think that for some reason they're missing out on a ton of money being made on another asset. And don't get me wrong, I know that the upside here from QNT isn't extremely high, but I'm at least looking at $2,000 by the end of this bull run. So, it's almost a 10x, and I think that a lot of people are suspecting this to even go to 10K. And do I think that it could go to 10K? Yes, if the FOMO does allow it, if we do go into that massive supply and demand, not shortage, but it's essentially a shortage of the supply, but it's a crisis, right? It's a supply crisis that we don't have enough of for the demand, and we will lead to a massive, it's almost like a short squeeze, but except for, a bullish squeeze at that point. So I'm very excited for that. And like I said, a lot of people are just looking at the price. They don't want to invest more than, $200 into it because they just think that it's a waste of time, whatever. But like I said, a lot of these assets do have a ton of upside potential, and in the long term, like I've said, QNT is an easy $100,000 asset. But we just see our 6 launches, its 6th digital exchange by successfully issuing the world's first digital bond in a fully regulated environment. Now, this was actually with a DLT technology or some sort of DLT technology, which is pretty funny. And of course, a lot of people are talking also about SDX because SDX announced a huge announcement today, and a lot of people were suspecting that it was QNT. In fact, we do see here, could this be SDX preparing for their launch of QNT? Because we did see 50,000, almost 51,000 QNT move from an unknown wallet to an unknown wallet. I don't like to speculate too much in terms of this stuff, but this was a significant amount. It was worth $12.1 million, so that's pretty interesting. Also, 50,000, that's a pretty hefty, amount, especially when we're talking about the circulating supply for QNT. Now we also see here, price doesn't match QNT's fundamentals. It's massively undervalued. Sentiment is bad due to recent price. People afraid QNT will miss remaining bull run. And here I am waiting cozy for 10K. It will come, 0% doubt. A client like ICC will, be an average OVN participant. And when we're looking at this, right, the International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, French Chambre de Commerce International, is the largest, most representative business organization in the world. And we do see here, what do API gateways and the International Chamber of Commerce have in common? If only a certain company developed the first DLT API gateway and advises the ICC, the global trade finance market covered a value of approximately $5.2 trillion. And if we're looking here, right, they're talking about an interoperability layer. Here's the API gateways, of course. This is pretty interesting, right? And this could lead us to, of course, QNT being, leveraged here. Looking forward to the UN ICC workshop today, talking about how DLT can be the enabler of cross-border trade, payments, and interoperable CBDCs. Of course, with the ICC and QNT, pretty big breadcrumbs here. The world's first DLT gateway for business, API gateway. We already know that there's so many breadcrumbs within a lot of this market leading all of the trail back to QNT. We also see here, I would like to thank the International Chamber of Commerce. And of course, Gilbert Verdian is listed here. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was, like I said, I don't like to speculate too much, but when we're talking about QNT, a lot of the breadcrumbs have led us back to the loaf, right? So if we're talking about this, I would not be surprised if ICC started to leverage the API gateways from QNT. So I don't know. I would be surprised if they weren't leveraging it. We also see here QNT is probably the only asset that has exchanges chasing after them rather than the reverse, and we are seeing that. In fact, we do see here every exchange listing QNT for free as they're realizing its big potential. What are you waiting for? Huobi, Kraken FX, Bitstamp. We do see KuCoin, Binance, Cointree, Coinbase, Gemini, eToro, Bittrex, LBank, and many more. We did see a new listing 16 hours ago, just so you guys know. The deposit opens and trading opens today, with withdrawals open in 2 days. So, I'm very surprised that QNT actually isn't on pretty much every other big exchange too, but, very soon, pretty much every exchange will have QNT on it because it's just going to be too big to ignore, but I don't know how much supply they will be able to have. I mean, at some point in time, there's going to be no QNT to be able to purchase, and I do truly mean that. When we're talking about the supply being so limited, below even Bitcoin supply, just think about how much upside potential this asset has in terms of the connections that it already has as well, with many use cases that it is prospering ahead of most of this market. I should say almost all of this market, because interoperability is one of the most undervalued use cases in the space, and they have connections to pretty much every single big name in the game. So I'm very excited for the future of QNT, and I think that this is only the beginning. In fact, QNT is a top 5 project. It's just the market which needs to catch up. Not a matter of if, just a matter of when. Strongest fundamentals. And it is one of the strongest assets out there. Here's from Cointree. Is Quant Network set to be the top 10 coin, or to be a top 10 coin, with a secure DOT that can connect everyone across the financial system and supply chain? They're targeting central banks, traditional banks, fintech, and crypto projects. Already they've partnered with Amazon and Oracle. And as you guys already know, I love the fact that they're already working with many of the big names in this game, especially with the Digital Pound Foundation, stuff like that. So this is great, and of course, easy to onboard enterprise clients into the network. Understand what you hold. This is a massive undervalued gem, and like I said, at these current prices, a lot of people don't want to buy here, but the best way that I could say this, okay, is at these current prices, okay, and I'm just going to say, we'll just say, where's the next price target, right? $60,000. All right, we'll just say Bitcoin. That is a 25,675% jump in price. This is Bitcoin. Okay, in fact, this is Bitcoin with utility, but not just any utility. This is utility that allows you to be connected to pretty much everything and everyone. This is the network of networks. I understand that normies don't want to buy this at 232 because they want to buy cheap coins like Shiba Inu. They want to get 1 trillion of it for $100, whatever the case may be. And a lot of people in this market just ignore QNT for some reason. They think that it's already pumped, that it's done. But when we're talking about, QNT, a lot of people think it could go to 10K. And I'm just going to say it right now, okay? If we go to Coin Perspective, just for it to get to the top 10, okay, we're talking Dogecoin numbers, all right? QNT at Dogecoin numbers will bring us to $2,240, which is my main focus point. I think that we could easily smash this target. Now, what if we hit Solana's numbers? We would be worth $4,500. I don't think that we're going to get to 10K this bull run, but if we do, this is where we would be in terms of $10,000. We would be sitting at about a market cap of $134 billion. Like I said, I don't think that we get to that, this bull run, but I will be holding QNT long term as well, because QNT is a $100,000 asset at scale. I've always said that. Even at Bitcoin's current market cap, it is worth $81.7 thousand. Okay? And, we already known that at Bitcoin's highest market cap this bull run, QNT would have already been worth $100,000. So in the future, when we are in a utility-driven market, when we are seeing these utility-grade tokens being, pretty much utilized on a day-to-day basis, and we pretty much prosper beyond a Bitcoin market, QNT, its sky is limitless. Okay, and I just want you guys to understand that. But with that being said, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.